Greetings everyone, this is Alt Lexington with part 23 of my Agents of Yesterday character leveling. In the previous video, part 22, we played from the Romulan Mystery. We played Frozen. Now we're going to play Coliseum in this part 23. I just want to check my character, make sure I'm still familiar with him and that everything's good. Well, some officer assignments obviously need doing. Still can't complete the one with colonists. You're getting to see everything from this character, every moment of his life, and even everything around the episodes, not just the episodes. I'm not really looking at what assignments I'm doing, I'm just checking to make sure they don't require too much energy credits. Because I'm trying to save them for later on in this character's development. I haven't got the best duty officers for these assignments, but I don't really care as long as some of them get done and we make some progress in the, what is it, commendation school I think it's called. Energy credits each one. That's enough. Let's see if I've got anything to refine. Yes, from yesterday when I did part 22. Oh, look at this, I've got a cannibal tribble. Interesting. I could get some tribble carcasses at some point by feeding normal tribbles to him. If I fed normal tribbles, if I put normal tribbles in my inventory with him, he'd eat them, leaving behind a carcass that I can give to an assignment officer on Earth Space Dock, I believe, isn't it? Or somewhere. Let's have a look. This particular tribble is a rare mutant tribble that other tribbles, although it seems to avoid tribbles that appear to be more fearless than others, it seems to have very sharp teeth. There is some assignment that when this tribble eats other tribbles, he'll leave behind their carcass, and there is an assignment or something that can be done with the carcass to earn a reward if you collect those carcasses. But for now, he's going to be stored on another officer who doesn't have tribbles. Quantum torpedo platform plans, transphasic torpedo platform plans. Those go with assignments for my engineer, I believe. For an engineering duty officer, you go on board your ship and you use these to perform assignments. You go to your ship's engine room. Now I think we're okay with everything. Just check my temporal probe. We can claim level 5 R&D research. That's good. So we've got another Temple of Agent package. Beam R&D school experience set to level 10, cannon to level 10. Oh! Or 100,000 R&D research bonus pool. Well, let's have a look at the R&D school before we choose the award. Well, these ones are on their way to level 5. So we might as well get the next one up to level 10 and have these catch up. I think that's what it does. So we'll choose ground weapons. Because I'm trying to do them in order as best I can, so I'm just wondering if there's something better I can do than ground weapons. I mean, those ones are on their way, so I don't want to. So if I use one of these to set to one of these schools to level 10, I don't want to. I want to maximize its use, which means I can't use it on the first 3, which are the most important. So I can use it on any of these, and it will maximize the research for that particular school, rather than these ones will only half use these. So I'm wondering which one I should use. It doesn't really matter because I don't do much ground anyway, much of this ground stuff, so I'm thinking I'll set projectiles to level 10, I think, instead, because that one might be more useful. In case I want to craft projectiles. Or I could. I'm just thinking, what things am I going to want to upgrade first besides these? Because if I get it to level 10, then it won't be far to level 15 where I can start doing superior upgrades. I'm thinking projectiles might be the most beneficial. But I could, but that would be doing them out of order. But yeah, let's do projectiles instead. If I can find it. There it is. Projectiles. So now projectile score is set to level 10. and I got an accolade for it. Still can't do superior tech upgrades, only improve, but we're getting there. So that's maximized. I brought something up all 10 levels instead of just bringing this up another 5 or this up another 6 and this up another 6. Instead I brought one up to all 10. By all 10 levels, that helped a hell of a lot. Once these preschools reach level 5, I'll blow up this. That was useful. Now we can get on with the episode. Coliseum, go to Napoda system. Let's have a look at what the mission is about. My contacts. This is the mission Coliseum. Excuse me if I seem a bit off. I'm only just woken up. Thought I'd get an early start today. Anyway, let's read this. Coliseum. My contacts tell me that Starfleet has rejected request for military assistance. This is Obersec talking, I think. The character who's sending us on this mission. My contacts tell me that Starfleet has rejected my request for military assistance. This is regrettable, but not unexpected. The Tal Shiar are formidable opponents, as are the forces directing their action. I understand why the Federation would hesitate to engage them directly. So today I appeal to you, not as an ally in battle, but as a person of compassion. My people need your help. I need your help. One of our ships was carrying a load of Valeron weapons through the Napoda system. That ship has disappeared. There are no indications that there was a battle. It is as if my ship and its cargo simply vanished. I know you have your reservations about the lengths to which I will go to secure the freedom of my people. Tell me, if you do not trust me with Valeron weapons, do you want Kiev to have them? I can provide you with the last coordinates of the vessel. Please help me. Do what you will with the weapons if they survive, but find my people. He seems to care more about Obersec seems to care more about his people than he does about the weaponry and its power. And this mission gives away a brilliant reward. It may not be the most powerful shield, but it's good enough. But it makes your ship look all glowy in a green glow. Almost Borg-like. So let's do this mission. Obersec is sending us on to find some of his crew, and maybe we can get rid of his Valeron weapons while we're at it. You never know. Yes, Obersec, the leader of a Remen resistance force fighting against Tal Shiar, who are kidnapping his people, I believe, for experiments. Obersec and Datan from the Romulan Republic would make good allies, because they both hate the Tal Shiar. And here we are. Where we were is where I left off the last video. Where we are now is where this episode begins. Now it says enter Napoda system. It doesn't say begin Coliseum, which is odd. I've just got to sort out my taskbar there. It seems to be popping up unnecessarily. Well, I don't know why it's doing that. It does sometimes. There we go, that got rid of it. So I don't think there is a prompt to start this mission. I think it's just enter the system. But let's read about the system. More than 60% of the landmass of Napoda Prime is classified as desert. The most temperate areas of the planet are on the coast of Tikar Ocean, but violent tides make most of this land uninhabitable. The fauna of Napoda Prime have adapted to life on this harsh planet, where daytime temperature can soar to more than 48 degrees Celsius. Lovely planet, a desert world. Not very habitable, but habitable for short periods of time. It's a good place to set up some base that you don't want anyone to visit, but it's also a horrible place to live. You need good air conditioning and supplies. Now, I just remembered to check my skill tree, just in case I've got... Nope, I haven't got any more skills to add. I just thought I'd check. Anyway, let's get on with it. And the episode did start. It says Coliseum. Admiral, I'm not reading any active vessels on scanners. There is, however, a debris field nearby. It's clustered around a satellite in orbit of the planet. The composition of the debris corresponds with ships that have gone missing in this region. I'll keep scanning, sir, but we'll need to take a closer look before I can determine if there are failure on weapons on one of the hulks. Okay, Fish Boy. I'm going to rename him Fish Boy because he looks like a fish, and I bet he smells of fish as well. Before we do anything, it's scanning time. This is one of the best episodes the game has to offer, I think. In fact, I'm saying that about a lot of these episodes at the moment because the Romulan story arc is just awesome. Now, Scannable is the far side of that, so the question is, are there cloaked Tau Shiar ships in the area? Because it's a likely possibility. And I want to get that scannable before I do anything. This hexafluorine gas. Okay, now I can scan the derelict and hope it doesn't trigger Tau Shiar. I remember this satellite from previous plays of this episode on other characters. And there's a little puzzle in there to solve. Admiral, I'm not detecting the vessel that Obasek sent us to find, but all of the ships in this debris field show signs of being affected by the same thing, a high-frequency energy beam that overloaded all of their systems. If the Remen ship was hit by that beam, it might have crashed into the planet's surface or gone adrift somewhere else in the system. Okay. I'm detecting energy readings from the satellite, so if the Remen crew detected them as well, they could have tried to use it to record a distress signal. We'll need to be closer before I can attempt an uplink with the satellite's communication array. Ah, it got me! I could see that coming a mile off. That looks good. Well, let's scan the satellite then. Admiral, we're stuck. This beam is holding us like a fly in a spider's web. We've managed to keep life support and environmental systems active, but almost everything else is offline. Shields, weapons, engines, nothing works. I'm not detecting any life signs on the satellite, sir, but there is a compartment with life support. The systems operating the beam must be automated. The chief says we have enough power in the backups for one transport. Recommend we send a team over to the satellite and find a way to turn the beam off. We're ready to beam over to the satellite at your command. Okay, so full of waiting. Captain, the consoles here appear to control the beam that is draining power from the stitch in time G. But there is a security lock preventing access. We need to find a usable console. By 14, and the design looks very much like the Rosanna station, except what the hell's that? Find a way to access the computer consoles. I'm just having a look around first. There might be a scannable here before I click on any consoles. Let's clear the scannable out of the way. Ooh, this is some good scanning. Us Starfleet officers, we love to scan. We need to get our scanning fix every now and then. Starfleet officers' worst nightmare is a universe where nothing needs to be scanned. There's another console there. I'll get to that one. That looks like a warp core with power relays or something. There's another scannable. Okay, so we've had a good look around and there's some view screens there. Excuse me. It would have been nice to see a picture of my ship through the view screen with its beams attached to it, not this freighter, but the satellite must be reviewing past data files of when it captured freighters. Okay, let's start with this console here. Access Satellite Operations Override Console. Operational state locked online. Hang on, that console was the Operations Override console. This console is Operations Console. This console is engaged in another operation. It's all the same console. So there are two consoles here. Satellite Operations Console and the Override Console. So now let's have a look at this console. There are two here. Access power generator console, access power generator override console. This console is engaged in another operation. Power save modes disengaged. Process priority order overwritten. Okay, right, we've had a look at them. Let's have a look at this console now. Access cargo bay console. That's a low priority system by the looks of things. This console doesn't appear to be locked like the others. Whoever did this must not have thought that this console used for inventory control was important. I think I can access a back door into the rest of the satellite's programs from here. Continue. I see the problem. The Romulan consoles are causing a lockout by forcing the satellite's primary processors to run through a series of equations and removing key bits of information from the answers, which causes the processors to lock up. If we can solve these equations and put the correct information directly into the consoles, the security log on the satellite's controls should be released. I've downloaded the corrupted equations onto this console for you to work on. Finally, Stabbling Bog is earning his keep at last. Solve the equation locking the processors. If you need help, consult your bridge officers. Continue. This shouldn't be too hard. Evaluating numbers in the first column. Numbers incorrect. So that one is incorrect. Cycle a row to cycle numbers. Let's see what happens. Cycle left. Not position. These are sums, not equations. 1268 plus 3,211, so that's 4,000, 4,400, 4,468, 78, 79, 4,479, I believe the answer should be. 1,400, so A should be a 7. That's not working. Hang on, that was right. Oh, you only have to figure out, change one number and it will figure the rest out itself, I believe. 4,528 minus 2,974. 1,556, I would have thought. Oh, this is easy. You just go through them one at a time until you get it right. Yep, that's how you do it. You just cycle left once, lock position, check. If it's not working, do it again. If it's not working, do it again, and do it again, and do it again. on all of them. Just cycle left once to see if you get it, and then lock position to see if you get it right. And if it's not right, you do it again. And you do that for each of these until they glow green. Cycle next set. For example, you just choose the first one, cycle left, lock position, see if you get it right. Nope. Cycle left, again, lock position, see if it's right. Nope. Just keep going like that. There we go, see? B, cycle left, lock position, wrong. Do it again, cycle left, lock position, right. That's right. Now for C, cycle left, lock position, C is wrong. Do it again, do C again, cycle left, lock position, is right. Now for D, cycle left, lock position, that's wrong. Do it again, cycle left, lock position, that's right. It's just a matter of rotating through them. A, cycle left, lock, needs to be done again. A, cycle left, lock, and it's correct. B, cycle left, lock, and it's correct. C, cycle left, lock, needs to be done again. So C, cycle left again, lock, needs to be done again. C, cycle left, lock, and it's right. Easy. So many people have problems with this, but it's easy. There we go. Captain, we've solved the equations that were causing issues in the other consoles. Now we need to plug these correct values into the consoles controlling the security lock, and then we should be able to access all of the satellite's major operations. Continue. So you don't even have to work out the equations, you just have to keep cycling left until you get it right, and locking position on each cycle until you get it right. So we've got to unlock the satellite control consoles, unlock satellites operations console, unlock satellites targeting console, unlock satellites power generator console. So let's go down here first. Let's see if it works if we do them in order. Unlock satellites operation console. Enter the code. Operational status conditional. Yep, that's done. Unlock satellites targeting console. Well, this isn't the targeting console. I think the targeting console must be up here in the what looked like a bridge area. Oh, I never saw this console a moment ago. Long range sensor selection algorithm, active ship identification, friendly safeties, offline targeting information. Okay, that's that one done. Now it's power generation console. That would be the one down by the warp core, I would think. Power save mode engaged, process priority order, defaults restored. Now it's a matter of, let's just get into some space, I think. Now it's just a matter of turn off all satellite operations. Well, that would be this console over here. Captain, this console controls the satellite's general operations. Perhaps we can turn off all of the functions that are affecting our ship. Continue. Excuse me. Please select an operation. Change operational state. End session. Well, we change operational state. Change operational state. Current operational state is on. That means the beam is active. Please select an option. Let's set satellite operation to off. Error. Current power usage level is too high. Satellite operational state cannot be set to off at this time. That means we end the session and check the power, which would be the warp core. So we've got to reduce the power amount. Captain, this console controls the satellite's power supply. Perhaps we can decrease the power to the satellite's weapon and disable it that way. Please select an option. Update power, save modes, set priority values. That's a choice now. Let's try to set priority values. Restore factory default. Error. Current power usage allocated to targeted computer prevents change in this power save mode at this time. Return to menu. In session. Update power mode. Update power save mode. Current power save mode. Power usage. Triggered save mode. Never. Power allocation full. So power user. The power save mode is power user, meaning it's taking a lot of power. Triggered save mode, it never saves power. Power allocation is at full. Let's choose economical, and it won't do it. I knew it wouldn't do it because we're doing it in the wrong order. Current power usage allocated to a targeting computer prevents change in power save. So you can't change the power level while the station is firing. So you really have to do them in the reverse order. So the station is, the beam is the operational status is the beam is active. You can't cut power while the beam is active with the power systems. So you have to go to the targeting system instead. So you can divert the beam away or switch it off or something. Access satellite targeting console. Captain, this console controls the satellite's targeting functions. I'm not sure if there's a way to disable whatever it is that is disabling systems on our ship, but if we can get this satellite to target something else, we may have a chance of prying our ship free. Yeah, so we're diverting the targeting of the energy beam that's holding our ship. Access long-range sensors, open ship identification program, examine telemetric data for all identified targets, access target control. But first we'll scan for the local ships. Access long-range scanners, objects detected, USS Stitch in time G, currently targeted. Please select an option. Increase range to 1,000 kilometers. Select an option. Open ship identification program, examine telemetric data for all identified targets. Open ship identification program. Open ship identification program. Object vessel, identified disabled, object detected, derelict hulk, identified non-functional. Please select an option. Reclassified derelict hulk. Now telemetric data for all identified targets. examine telemetric data for all identified targets. Object detected. You assess stitching time G. Object detected. Derelict Hulk. Those are the coordinates. Access targeting control. Designate derelict Hulk as priority target. End session. Admiral, the satellite has ensnared a piece of debris near the ship. Its stranglehold on us is weaker, but we're not out of the woods yet. Critical systems are stable, but we still don't have weapons or long-range communications. So, the satellite is now firing two beams, one at our ship and one at the other, at the derelict Hulk. And the derelict Hulk is the priority target, so the beam at the satellite is firing at that ship is the strongest of the two. It's no longer concentrating full power on my ship. It's splitting its attention between my ship and a derelict hull. Let's check the operations console because it's a choice between power and operations. This console controls the satellite's general operations. Change operational state. We won't be able to switch it to off. No. That means we have to go back to the power systems and see if we can stop it from firing two beams. Set priority values. Current values, life support, environmental, pulse emitter, beam, displacer, target 60. Restore factory defaults. Factory default settings restored. Update power save modes. Economical. Power save mode set to economical. Return. End session. Admiral, we found that the stitching time G does not attempt to move or fire at the satellite. What? Admiral, we found that if the stitching time G does not attempt to move or fire at the satellite, that it will engage a lower power version of the beam affecting us. It's almost like an energy saving mode. Yeah, it's working. We can use that to our advantage. At least we won't have to worry about life support. We'll hold the ship stable and keep working on boosting power to critical systems while you try to disrupt the satellite's functions and free us. So now all that's left to do is turn the satellite off, turn its functioning off. Now that it's in power save mode, we can turn off its functioning, which will switch off its beam. Basically put the satellite into an idle state. End session. Captain, systems are coming back online all over the ship. We have weapons, shields, even the replicators are working again. Transporters are standing by. We can beam you back as soon as you're ready. Not now. So we've effectively put the satellite into a power save mode, an economical power save mode, where it's not going to be targeting anything unless it moves in around the system. Unless something comes into the system, it's not going to trigger the satellite. And because the satellite's in power save mode and it's got one of the derelict hulks as its primary target, whatever comes into the system will not be targeted as a priority target. It will get a weak beam, so they'll have a chance of escaping. Something like that, I don't know. Confusing, but we got through it. Return to ship. Beam me up, Scotty, or beam me up, Stabbling Blog, or beam me up, Tellarite. God, I did enough waffle on that. Didn't understand half of what I was talking about. Hang on. Where am I? I tried to beam to the ship. I was obviously intercepted. And I can't zoom out. All I can do is be in a cage. Where am I? I'm an animal in a cage. We've got a temporal probe here we mustn't forget to try and get. Now what?
If you fail to comply with commands, you will be punished.
Now we fight or we die. Okay, as long as it isn't too bright. Get a melee weapon. Just having a look around here to see if there's anything else that needs looking at before I get that melee weapon. I like to have a look around. Hang on. What are those weapons over there? I've never seen those weapons used before by anyone in the arena. I think the mercenaries who act as the occasional guard thought that those weapons might actually be worth something, unlike the beat-up ones they let us use. My best guess is that they're looking to sell them at some point when their contact here is up for some extra money. But until we find a way to get past those force fields, those weapons don't really concern us. What weapons? What force fields? Get a melee weapon. Klingon Batlift. Mark 10 damage. Oh, I wanted a Vulcan. What do you call it? Lupra? Or one of them. I always thought there was a force field across this room that stopped you from getting to these weapons. But that's why this little pop-up came up here. This one. Who released the force field? I'm a temporal agent. Maybe it's different for us. That pop-up comes up again. Ah, we can get more weapons here. On a Vulcan's Lupro, I think they call it. Ah, we can get more now. Oh, get another bat lift just for the hell of it. Get a Lupra. And a sword. Get them all. Let's check the inventory. Yeah, I'm right. Back in here, There's usually a force field cutting across the middle of this room. There's usually in other playthroughs, there was a force field cutting across the middle of this room, which prevented us getting these melee weapons. So how come I'm able to get the melee weapon now, and it's a higher rarity than the other ones? Not as good, though. It's a higher rarity, but lower mark. I'm just looking at reader. It's got the damage mod. But it doesn't seem to do anything. So I'm wondering which one is the best one to equip. And I know I've got a sword currently equipped, which is even better. The sword is a lower mark. Let's put that there and compare it with that. That sword is better damage than the one I was using, because it's a higher mark. It's not as high a rarity, but it's a higher mark. But I'm still going to stick with my current sword because it has, if you look at the bottom of its tooltip, oh no, I was reading that wrong. It might be wise to change to this better sword. Worn Tuscan falchion. Tuscan falchion not worn. Sharp. It's odd though. Higher mark means more damage. Higher rarity means more procs. No, that's wrong. Higher mark means higher rank and better damage from a weapon. Higher rarity means more modifications on the weapon. So this weapon has damage times 2 because it's a purple, because it's a blue rarity, whereas this doesn't have anything because it's common. But it does have, but it's a higher mark, so it does more damage than this one does, even though this has damage times 2. So it's hard to know which is the best one, the one I had when I entered the episode, or the new one that's worn out. The new one claims to do more damage, but the old one has 2 damage mods. The old one I owned had 2 damage mods. The new crappy one I've got does more straight damage. I don't get how that works. That damage times 2 mod probably only comes into effect during actual combat, and you can't tell what it does beforehand by reading the tooltips. And then there's the Klingon one that does even more. But I've used a backlift so many times, I'm a bit bored of it. Although I don't usually use a Vulcan Lurper, so I might try that one. Because it's hard to tell which of these two is the best one. This one has more DPS, but this one has 2 mods on it and isn't worn out. There's less DPS but has 2 mods on it. But I'm going to go with the Vulcan Lurper because I've used bat lips many times before on other characters, and the swords, well, I've been using them in previous videos with this character, one of them, this one, so I'm going to go with the Lurper. I haven't used it before. Well, I probably have, but I don't remember having fun with it or playing with it, so I'd like to refresh my memory on how a Lurper works. I'm going to switch the weapon over so it becomes primary. And there it is, I can see it on me. So I went with what was fun rather than what does damage. Let's enter the arena and get myself killed.
Commencing test 1. Hardened desert Akari entering testing area.
Okay, Selmac. Is that his name? Sel? No, we don't know his name yet. Oh, there's a scannable. I'll let him deal with all that and I'll get the scannable.
Commencing test 2. Releasing warrigals now.
Any more scannables? No. Always best to let other characters do the fighting. Unless it's a player, then you've got to help. But if it's an NPC, who gives a crap if they die? Hang on a minute. I need to turn the music up. Music volume. We got the Star Trek music. They're all expose attacks. Whoa, what are you doing? What's that? Go! Go where? Back to my cage? That was quite a pitiful performance. Okay, boss. I'm in my cage, boss. Let him go. Let him go. Oh, and there he is, beamed back in. Now we know his name, Salmek. And I'm not going to spoil who he is. I know who he is, but I'm not going to spoil it. But there was a reason Obersex sent me to find this crew member. Obasek wanted this crew member back, even though he's a disappointment. Salmek, how did you get here after the escape from Installation 18? Oh! We've seen him before in Installation 18, so we do know who he is. Or has it been revealed yet that he is... what his relation to Obasek? Has that been revealed yet in previous episodes? I don't know. Well, spoiler alert, I'm going to say it. He's Salmak is Obasek's son. No, not Obasek. Yeah, Obasek. That's his name. Salmak, how did you get here after escape from Installation 18? I remember you as well. It seems your prison break, however well-intentioned, just ended up the same way. It's enough to make me think that I keep picking the wrong side. After escaping the installation, I joined up with a freighter. We were passing near this system when we were snared by a satellite and drifted into the planet's atmosphere. This ship crashed, and even though I activated an emergency transponder to beam several of us to the planet's surface, we were captured almost immediately by a group of soldiers. Since then, I've been stuck in this cage, watching my former crewmates fight and die in this arena. Now I'm the only one left alive. That's all I know. I think the Tau Shia might be targeting Obasek's son deliberately. I mean, they probably micromanaged. Obasek was targeted and captured for Installation 18 for experiments because he was Obasek's son. And when I helped him escape, he then joined a freighter crew. In other words, his father swung him a job on a crew transporting things like Phaleron triggers. And the Tau Shia probably micromanaged that freighter to do a trade deal that would force them to take a course through here, through this system where he got caught. Again, where they intended to catch him again. Yeah, the same freighter that was carrying the Phaleron weapons was probably doing other trade missions, and the Tau Shia micromanaged one of those missions to get him to pass through this system. Soldiers? What kind of soldiers? Hang on. Right, what kind of soldiers?
It is too bright here.
Get some sunglasses. I don't know who is responsible for this place. The trainers and guards all appear to be mercenaries without any clue about what's going on. They're paid to keep us in cages and to look the other way. The night I was brought in, I was interrogated. There were bright lights in my eyes and a sympathetic voice asking me questions. Whomever it was took care to conceal his identity. That sounds less like Romulan interrogation or mercenary interrogation and more like Cardassian interrogation. With the bright lights. There were 4 lights. And in the previous episode, Mine Enemy, that we played, a previous episode, 2 episodes ago, there was an intelligence report we read on a console in that episode suggesting that the Tau Shia and the True Way are linking up. Or not enemies. Any idea what they want with us?
I tire of this life.
Yeah, well, you, me both. I have no idea what they want with us, or why they make us fight. This all seems like some sort of giant game, but there is No one in the stands to be entertained. Yes, it doesn't seem like a game to me. It seems like testing the limits of various species within the alpha and beta quadrants. Some outside race is pulling the Tau strings and making them test the various life forms in this part of the galaxy to see their limitations in combat and if they have any weaknesses that can be exploited. You've been here a week. You should know more than this. Yeah, come on. Pull your finger out.
Leave me alone.
I do not wish to continue talking with you. I'm sorry about what I said. Can we continue? No. Ah, there's a certain way to talk to him, I suppose, in order to progress the mission. In other words, don't upset him. Now I recall, you were working on all those errands when we were attacked. I managed to escape on a shuttle and some of us signed on with a freighter. As you can see, things didn't work out so well after that. So you wound up working as a stevedore to make ends meet. What happened after that? That's a bit cruel. But instead of linking with the resistance, you just let yourself get captured. It has to be this one, I think. It's a bit harsh, but it's better than let yourself be captured. We were transporting a shipment of Phaleron weapons. I know that your people will not use them. We do not want to, but our fight is getting desperate. We need to do something, anything that would shift the tide of war, even if that choice was horrific. I jettisoned our cargo as we were entering the atmosphere. They were completely destroyed. I've seen what Phaleron weapons are capable of firsthand. I could not allow them to contaminate a world not involved in my people's fight. That was good of you. At least we know the Phaleron weapons are no more. You didn't put up a fight when you were captured, or any idea who brought you here?
It is too bright here.
We're in a dark cave, you stupid idiot. I mean, my God. I don't know who is responsible for this place. The trainers and guards all appear to be mercenaries without any clue of what's going on. They paid to keep us in cages and look the other way. The night I was brought in, I was interrogated. There were bright lights in my eyes. A sympathetic voice asked me questions, whomever it was. Took care to conceal his identity. We've already read this bit, and this is where we went wrong. How could you be so stupid? You're here for a week, surely. That's why we went wrong, because I said, how could you be so stupid? You've been here a week, surely you have seen something there. That's where I went wrong. I clicked this one on autopilot, on automatic, without thinking about the other ones. Any idea what they want with us, or was that the first time you were interrogated? No, I have been questioned by these people several times before. My reluctance to answer their questions earned me this shock collar. Refusal to help them now is quite painful. Interestingly enough, this was the first time I've been questioned about another participant in the arena. They asked how you treated me and if you had said anything about why you were here. They even wanted to know if I thought we could become friends. Someone thinks you are very important. Yeah, well, it's the price of fame. Being a hero. Captain Kirk, eat your heart out. Did you tell them anything? If you did, I will make you pay. Oh, come on. Why would they want to know those things?
I tire of this life.
I have no idea what they want with us or why they make us fight. This all seems like some sort of giant game, but there is no one in the stands to be entertained. Okay, we're going over the same ground again. You've been here a week, you should know more than this. That's what I clicked last time. Are there any other prisoners being forced to fight? Am I the only person you've been paired with so far? I've had several partners in my battles. You're the only one about which I have been questioned. You must have impressed our masters. I know you have impressed me. Are you coming on to me? Trying to butter me up? Are we the only ones here, or only a psychopath would be impressed by my killing? Are you a psychopath? I mean, come on.
I have lost everything.
I think there are others. I hear other fights. If there are other prisoners, I have never been able to contact them. We are kept separate and caged unless we are fighting. How many fights have you been in? Is there any way out of here? Have you tried finding a way to contact the other prisoners? Too many. Are you telling me that you can't handle a little bit of violence? How weak are you? Do you know any way past their defences? The trainers carry key cards. That's the only way I know to get through the defences. Do you think we can get one of those cards? Can I trust you? Of course! I can see that we think the same way, friend. A few years ago, I worked as a bodyguard for a Ferengi merchant. He had a talent for acquiring latinum, and during my time with him, I learned a few things. I was able to lift a key card from one of the trainers during my interrogation. If you help me, I think we can overpower the guards and escape through the main door in the arena. Let's get out of here. Well, that was a lot of information. Wait to be let out. Return to arena.
If you fail to comply with commands, you will be punished.
How? Check those corners. I could easily cheat and switch to my gun.
Test scenario 4 activated. A Hala released.
Alright, scan. What's that over there? Ah, it's immunity to their spitty stuff. Oh, where'd they go? I haven't needed to do anything yet. I'm under attack, am I? Doesn't feel like it. Defeat the healer worm. Oh, it's the big one. Holy crap, run, run! Let's get a heal going. We can't get a heal going because it won't let us. Keep those worms off my back. Well, I would, but my heels aren't working. How do we defeat this thing? My heels weren't working. Just wait for the stuff to disappear. How do we defeat this thing? Use the consoles on the sides of the arena to fight the Elder Worm. Well, that's what I thought, but it could have told me that up front.
Enemy target on sensors.
But my heels aren't working. That's pretty bad, that. Arrakis, desert planet. For he is the Kwisatz Haderach. I need spice. Come on, run. I think there might be a little graphics glitch somewhere. I'm surprised my shirt isn't ripping. That's what happened to Captain Kirk whenever he did anything like this. Whoa, console. Come on, move. No, not that console. Is there another one? That plant doesn't really do anything. Yeah, eat that. Looks like Disruptor. What do you need me to use the console by Sarah? I can't read that. Come on, run! Where's my heels? Can't do anything without heels. I think there's a glitch. There's got to be, because they can't just want you to die over and over again with no heals. How are you supposed to survive if you haven't got any heals? Defeat the arsehole worm. we have it. You dead yet? Or are you just going to sit there flopping back and forth? He died in a balanced position. That's why he isn't falling down. Proving there is a glitch in the episode. Anyway, escape the arena. That was most unsatisfying. Compared to other playthroughs that I did on other characters. We've been here before, or somewhere like this, on another character. Disabled dampening field. Now that we have some real weapons and I've disabled my shock collar, let's get out of here. That waste pipe has to lead somewhere. There's the temporal probe over here. But before we do any of that, we've got some reading to do. Project Dissemination. New subject, Admiral Colt, captured from USS Stitch in Time G. Initial analysis. Subject's threat level is high and risk of escape or intervention in testing is elevated. Notify Colonel Hakeeb and escalate to level 6 trials. Wow. They recognise that I'm a hero. Test parameters. Project Goal. To develop a matrix of alpha quadrant species, we must determine which species can be pitted against one another for maximum devastating effect to each. Tests will not be limited to sentient species, as the Iconians have technology that will allow us to effectively introduce new flora and fauna to alien worlds. So that's an Iconian gateway, and I think this is the first mention of the Iconians by name. Beforehand it was just demons of air and darkness. But now we know who's pulling the strings of the Tau Shiar. Access research objectives. Honored Master, it will take some time to complete my report, but I have a few personal observations for you that may prove useful. Please consider them when you make your plans. Humans and Klingons show the greatest proclivity toward fighting when there is no chance of victory. Breaking a Vulcan's emotional control will usually render him helpless. They have no ability to process the emotions that they so zealously suppress. Bajorans will fight to the death to defend homes or loved ones, but they may reject a fight that doesn't threaten what they hold dear. Betazoids will detect betrayal almost instantly, but their telepathic senses can be overwhelmed by extreme pain or violent thoughts. This can allow an infiltrator to escape their notice. A possible wedge to break the Klingon Empire may be the Gorn. More than 77% of Gorn captives chose to help another Gorn before assisting a Klingon, even if that choice resulted in the death of the Klingon. Hirogen are formidable in single combat, but their fractured society reduces their threat level significantly. I have been unable to separate a true symbiont from its host for separate study. 2 attempts to implant a symbiont in a host from another species have failed. Both the symbiont and the host died within hours. Undine are quite interesting. I request more time to study this race in greater detail. Access records for prisoner 1478, Selmac. Captured along with a small group of Remen soldiers by Desert Patrol. Interrogation inconclusive. Recommend use of holographic conditioning. Single combat test. Subject was wounded on 4 occasions but survived all tests. Recommendation. Prisoner 1478 may be suitable subject for team testing or alternative study. Forward data to Colonel Haki for evaluation. Holographic conditioning, that's what happened to Geordie LaForge when the Romulans captured him. And he spilled his glass onto Chief O'Brien's shoulder. Access personal log. They've contacted me again. My associates have 2 tasks for me now. First is the destruction of the Remens. I understand their anger. The Remens are attempting to rise above their station. They're mindless slaves, and they need to respect their betters. Tarsis was able to control them. After Starfleet captured her, the surviving Remens developed delusions of self-worth. The troublemaker who calls himself Obsec, who is he to tell them that they can be free? Does a beast of burden have the right to choose its own destiny? Wow, that's speciesist. If the problem were not so irksome, it would be almost comical. I will present Obsec's broken corpse to the Iconians in tribute. They will reward me richly for my loyalty. The second task will take more effort. The Iconians want data. They want the species of the Alpha Quadrant tested until they break. They want to know their weaknesses and how to exploit them. They want to see their strengths and how to destroy them. I will admit that I take no pleasure in this task. It will be quite entertaining to make some of those self-righteous humans turn on one another, or push one of those blustering beggars from Cronus until he begs for death. Oh, and the Vulcans, I will make Vulcans weep, and I will savour each tear. I know of an abandoned Coliseum in the Napoda system. We can find a way to lure test subjects there. It will take time and effort, but I am confident I can do what the Iconians want. Okay, we've read all that now. So the Iconians are getting the Tal Shiar to test the various species of this part of the galaxy to see how far they can be pushed, how much endurance they have, what their weaknesses are. All sorts of stuff. So they're actually referring to the people pulling the Tal Shiar strings now. They're referring to them by name. Anyway, let's do the temporal probe. That only temporal agent characters get. And it's finding the word. So it's a tangled tachyon install. Install. Next it's huge dance tachyon. Tachyon. Exterior pass juice. Exterior. The Nakul have been surreptitiously copying the findings in the computers here, gathering information from the experiments on various species in the area. There's data on me in there. I don't know whether to be flattered or disgusted. The thing is, though, if the Nakul time travelers are spying on all of this, how come the Iconians, if they're so powerful, how come the Iconians haven't noticed the Nakul spying on them, spying on one of their outsourced projects? The Nakul spying on an outsourced project of the Iconians, and the Iconians don't even know? Interesting. You think this would be one case where the Nakul have bitten off more than they can chew. We've salvaged some components from the probe. Ah, that's good. And now we can go into our inventory and click on that and claim our reward for this episode. It'll take a moment for that to come through. Not yet available. Investigate temporal probe on divas in the factory. Yeah, must have clicked the wrong one by mistake, but there it is. And as usual, new car remarks. $650 so far. Let's have a read of that other console. Access gateway control. Access gateway console. The Iconian gateway. It appears as if whomever created this laboratory has rigged controls to an Iconian gateway. You might be able to pull some information off the logs. Hang on a minute. Whoever found that gateway must have been able to move it into here, because it's not attached to the ground. It's like the gateway was put here, not by the Iconians, but by whoever added all this Romulan stuff, by the Tau Shah. They must have found it. They must be able to transport gateways from one location to another. It's like the Stargate facility, actually. Or a rogue operation of the Stargate facility. Access communications log. Accessing most recent communication. Our master's patience wears thin, Hakiv. The time grows short, and still you have not provided all of the species data they require. Are you having trouble acquiring targets? I provided you with the necessary technology to modify the satellite in the Napola system, but your little snare is slow. What we need is more test subjects. Perhaps a small colony would be enough. I will contact you again to work out the details. Okay, let's read the other bit. Access transport log. Accessing last 5 destinations. Napola Base Delta, IRW Level 3 of 3, dear of 5. If our listing post Gamma, all the places we've been, we're following this ship. We're going to have to go up against them at some point, no doubt. Napoda Base Delta, so it's here just before us. Ah, somebody beamed to that ship. Hang on, I don't get this. This is the transport log. How can you be beaming to other planets and other solar systems? I don't get that. Access gateway controls. Biometric signature mismatch. Access denied. Gateway shut down in 10 seconds. Well, that's good. At least it's shut down. Come on, shut it down then. Yep. Be interesting to see SG-1 come through that gate, looking around, wondering where the hell they've ended up this time. Wrong franchise. Ugh, this is all poo. It's a waste pipe. Escape the arena. Cool. I need to take a couple of puffs of nicotine. That was taking quite some time. Loading the polar
It is too
desert.
bright here.
But it's the middle of the bloody night, you moron. I love it when he does that. Yeah. Before I proceed, I need to take a couple of puffs of nicotine. Yeah, we just travelled along the poo pipe after fighting a big giant asshole worm. So first you fight a giant asshole worm and then travel along a poo pipe. I suppose fighting the worm is like clearing the poo pipe. I mean, that is not, if that's not a reference to gay sex, I don't know what is. No offence to gay people, I'm just having a joke. That might become relevant later on in this story, this episode. I mean, Selmac was coming on to me earlier. Watch out. There are Romulan Scorpion fighters overhead. They're looking for us. We need to move quickly and smartly to avoid detection. I recommend we head to the east. See that mountain in the distance? My ship crashed on the other side. It may have something we can use to signal your vessel. The search for us will only get more intensive the longer we stay here. We need to get away from the arena as quickly as possible. I would think so. I'm enjoying a bit of nicotine at the moment, so that's why I'm just standing here. Excuse me for a few moments. So first you kill the giant phallic-shaped snake, and then you run along the sewage pipe. A bit of an innuendo going on there, I think. Star Trek Online. Bit of a metaphor. Or is it just my dirty, half-asleep, unsmoked, unnicotined mind? So we're heading to the mountain range. Take cover in rock formation. That rock formation. Wait for fighter to pass overhead. There it is. There it goes. Glad I spotted him. Continued journey away from arena. I don't go on my injuries for the arena. I can't go on. My injuries from the arena are too... I can't read that. Come on, Samak, keep up. I know you're injured, but keep up. I know it's too bright in the middle of the night, but keep up. Find a way to treat Samak. Find disinfectant for Samak's wounds. Find antiparalytic for Samak's fever. Find analgesic for Samak's pain. Okay, let's baby this guy. Got to talk to him first, though, haven't we?
I tire of this life.
Forgive me, my friend, but the pain! I need to rest just for a moment. My wounds. It is agony. I fear that the worm's venom may have infected me. The pain is excruciating. My vision is blurred and my blood burns in my veins. Now, that makes me think Romulans are an offshoot of the Vulcan race, and Remens have something to do with Romulans, and he's talking about blood burn. I'm thinking it's the 7-year itch that Vulcans get. Or something like that. That's probably why he was coming on to me. Before we were captured, my science officer said that the local plants here had medicinal qualities. Please, I need your help. Find something to ease my suffering. I need something to disinfect my wounds, something to treat my fever, and anything that will ease my pain. Thank you, my friend. I know that I would have died today if it weren't for you. You coming on to me again? I'll see what I can find. Scan plant. This plant has analgesic qualities. It won't be as strong as anything you have in the med bay on the Stitch in Time G, but it would take the edge off of Samak's pain. That might be enough to get him on his feet. This type of plant grows in the shade. Look for it on the sides of the hills and cliffs. In the shade? What, at night time? There's another one. This plant looks like it would work as a disinfectant. It is astringent enough to clear out any possible infection Samak might have contracted from the worm's attack, but you think you will need more than one sample from this type of plant to deal with an injury as severe as Samak's. This type of plant grows in the washes of the desert. Look for it in large flat areas. Okay. This plant looks like it would work as an antipyretic. It should help alleviate Samak's fever. Unfortunately, this particular plant doesn't look healthy and you aren't getting much sap from it. You will need to find a more robust sample of this plant before you can treat Salmak's injuries. This type of plant likes sunny and windy growing conditions. Look for it at the tops of hills and mountains. So I need to find more of all these plants. There's arrows on the map pointing me in the right directions. I've got all that kind. Oh, we've got a full moon. I'm being mooned. That's another part of the innuendo. And lots of prickly cacti. It just keeps on coming in this episode. Okay, now we can treat Salmak. Let's just hope he doesn't get too turned on by all the rubbing on of this ointment. Where has he gone? Here, you rub that into your butt and you'll be fine.
Right here.
Thank you, my friend. I'm feeling better now. I can continue. Yeah, well, hurry up. Head into the canyon. I wonder if there's anything to scan around here. Over in that way. I wonder, can you get up on top of that arch? I doubt it. Doesn't look like the kind you can, but it's worth a try. You never know. There might be an accolade, there might not be. I don't know, but it's worth a try. Now that we're in the canyon, we shouldn't have to worry about the fighters anymore. Just keep it the local wildlife. Just the local wildlife. Nope, you can't get up there. Or at least, if you can, I don't know how. No, the edge of the map is blocking it. Try the other side. This is a very long episode. But I think episodes should all be long ones. Oh, there's a scannable hidden in the rock. Oh, I really needed that scan. Yep, I do like to do my exploring. I am a Starfleet officer. Starfleet officers are explorers. That's why I think there should be a lot more accolades in the game for things like exploring around maps, encouraging people to have a good look at the map that they took an effort to make. Somebody put effort into creating this map, and the least you can do is have a look around it and see it all. Now it looks like a couple of those stars have set below the mountain, in front of the mountain. Anyway, you obviously can't get up on top of that. So, no sense trying anymore. Follow the canyon. Wildlife. Where's my Lypra, or whatever it's called. They didn't drop any loot. Stingy gits. It's a beautiful map. It's a saber-tooth, what do you call it? The tab key I've learned is important in melee. You've got to actually select your target in order to have proper effect on it. I mean, if you don't select your target in melee, it's alright, you can still hurt them, but you hurt them more if you actually use the tab key and select them as a target. Well, at least that's what it seems to me so far. I'm going off the beaten track again. The weather isn't going to hold out for too much longer. We should look for a place to spend the night. I've also noted... Alright then.
I have lost everything.
The search patrols are moving on, Colt. We will not survive the night in this desert. We need to find shelter and safety. If we can scavenge provisions to create a camp, then we will have a better chance of reaching the wreckage of my ship alive. What do you need? The temperature is dropping. If we don't find warmth, we risk hypothermia. We can't use a phaser on the rocks here to heat them. They are too porous. We will need firewood. Look for the dry plants. If we can collect tinder, kindling and logs, we will be able to create a fire that will last through the night. Okay, we've got to collect supplies to make a camp. Tinder, kindling and fuel wood. Well, you just stand there while I go find this stuff, okay? Might have to fight an animal for it. Following the arrows on the mini-map. That looks like something. So we've got some kindling. We've now got fuel wood. We've now got wood. Accolade complete. Fueling friendship. That should last us through the night. Let's get into this cave before the temperature drops. What cave? So now we're going to hide out in a cave, in a little hole, in a dark cave. Let's penetrate the cave. Penetrate deep within to the cave and then get nice and cozy warm. Make sure we got wood. The temperature is dropping rapidly now. This cave should protect us. I've done some exploring. It looks like the cave continues through. When the sun rises, we could save time and energy by passing through the passage. Excellent, that passage saved us hours of walking. This could be a good day, Cermak. My ship isn't far from here. I think I can make out smoke from the wreckage on the horizon. Wow, what happened in that cave overnight? 2 men together. What happened in that cave? Whatever happens in the cave stays in the cave. I'm saying nothing. Nothing happened. We didn't huddle together for warmth. With all those naughty innuendos going on. Nothing happened, and we didn't come out the other side. See, you can have fun with this game. I wonder if all that was intentional or not. Written in intentionally or not. Now let me stress, no offence to gay people. I'm not a homophobe, I'm just having a laugh. There she is. She wasn't much to look at, but she was ours. And when we were flying through space, we were... Okay. So the question is, do we run down the hill or do we jump down? Because sometimes you might get an accolade, you never know. Yay! Plonk. No accolade for jumping down into this pea-coloured water. Nothing to scan. I'm just running back up here just in case we missed something. That was the cave we came out of. So we haven't missed anything, that's good. By taking a different route. I bet you bought that ship from a Ferengi. No wonder it crashed. It did mention something about Ferengis on the ship. I think I found your ship, mate. We should check to see if the emergency beacon survived the crash, but in the likely event it didn't, we might be able to piece together some components. I was reading that fast for me and still didn't get enough time. Look for a way to contact your ship. There is no way this vessel will ever fly again. Well, duh! The damage done by the fall through the planet's atmosphere is severe. The emergency distress beacon wasn't vaporized in the crash. It's probably burned under 30 meters of rock. It's probably buried under 30 meters of rock and sand like the Singularity Drive and the cargo bays. You do, however, find a backup generator with a minuscule amount of energy left. If you had the right components, you think you could construct a makeshift subspace beacon to contact your ship. You won't be able to do anything more than transmit a few pulses to let your crew know where you are, but it should do the trick. Find usable ship equipment, find communications array, find navigation beacon, find subspace distortion inverter. Selmac, lend a hand for God's sakes, it's your ship. Subspace distortion inverter. Looks like a solar panel to me. Navigation beacon. Now, before I find the next component, there's a little exploring I want to do. just to have a run around and a look about. Yep, you can't interact with the wreckage by the look of things. There's a lot to explore around here. Get up as high as I can get. It's a great place to take a screenshot around here, if I recall. Selmac won't follow. Now, doesn't that make a good screenshot? Button that up to render scale 3 or 4 and you'll get a great screenshot, but I can't do that while I'm recording right now, just in case it messes up the recording. All I can do is take normal resolution screenshots. Okay, let me take a moment to check on those screenshots I just took, if I can find them. If the sound will cut out while I do this. Just got to find them on my other computer screen. I took 4 screenshots. And here they are. Not bad. Okay, back to the episode. Now we find that final component Communications array. Attach emergency beacon to the ship's power source. I'm just going to have a look up here for a moment. Nope, you can't walk around up there very much. See if I can walk around up some of these places. No point looking for anything else now that we've explored thoroughly. Question is, what happened in that cave? Nobody knows, and this character ain't talking. Wait for rescue outside. Cutscene. Romulans. Green-blooded, but Hakeev.
Did you
And
think
two fighters.
from me?
Yeah.
There's no place where I cannot find you. My spies are everywhere. Prisoner 1478, take your place. You did your job admirably. It is good to know at least one Remen understands who is the master and who is the slave. The loss of the listening post was a minor setback. The Remen's refuge in the Dera system has been destroyed. Dozens of subjects have been tested in my arena. When the Iconians return, they will find I have done all they have asked, and more. But you will not be there on that dreaded day. This tiresome game ends now. You could have been such a fascinating test subject, but this time, no. This time I think a more direct approach is best. Ready? Aim.
Too bad, Hakeem. I've got a good crew behind me. I like that. Beams out just in the nick of time. Return to
I
Obersec.
apologize for Slamic's action. I had no idea there was a traitor in our midst. If his actions caused harm to you or your crew, forgive me. That was not my intent.
I've been calling him
However,
Selmac.
your trip to the Nopata system was not in vain. Now you see. Now you know. Hakeev is a pawn of a greater power. The demons of air and darkness are here. You should report to your superiors. Tell them what you have seen here. Open their eyes to the dangers that lurk in the shadows.
Okay, I will. Let's get that shield, collect reward.
Congratulations.
Whoa, that was impressive. Thank you, Spock.
Starfleet Intelligence has completed its analysis of the data you recovered in the Nopata system. There is a 67.47% chance that the Iconians are using the Tal Shiar as a way to influence the Romulan Star Empire, and that their persecution of the Remens is directly related to this. Command is considering lending assistance to Obersec and his forces. But before we come into direct conflict with the Romulans, we want to try a more discreet approach. The data indicates that Hakeev is operating out of the Brea system. Long-range sensor scans indicate that there may be a major Tal Shiar installation there. We want you to infiltrate this system, apprehend Hakeev, and destroy the Tal Shar's base. Hakiv must not escape. He may be the only person who knows how extensive the Iconian influence in Romulan space is.
That's the next episode that we will play in the next video. But we'll accept it for now, so it's queued up ready for the next video. Let's ask her about the Iconian gateway.
Hakiv had a working Iconian gateway? Fascinating. We already knew that the Iconians survived the destruction of their home world. Now we know that they are active in Romulan space, and apparently using these gladiatorial combats as a way to test the species of the Alpha Quadrant. Starfleet Intelligence will analyze the data you recovered from Hakiv's command center. I must confer with Admiral Quinn and Starfleet Command. Conflict with the Romulans and the Iconians may be unavoidable.
A bit of a doom and gloom on the situation there. So we just played Coliseum, and from a certain point of view it can have lots of gay innuendo in there, unless your character's a female. And then it's just perversion. Now, I must stress though that I'm not a homophobe and I'm not against gay people or anything. I'm just having a laugh and a bit of a joke. To hell with political correctness, eh? Anyway, for now, we've got some assignments complete. Might as well start some more while we're waiting. I'm not going to play this new episode cutting the cord in this video. This was just for Coliseum because it went on a bit long. Not as long as some of my videos, but I shouldn't really let the videos run so long anyway. More freaking colonial. Well, that's all we can do for now. Another bit of dilithium for doing that episode. And what the hell? I might as well just put this shield on to see what it does to our ship, because it's a special shield. And it's like, it's the same as the one I've got on, same capacity as the one I've got on. It doesn't regenerate quite as fast, but it is part of a set. Not that I'm going to be getting that set on this character anytime soon. But still, it's always nice to try these things out, so let's just put that on and see what it does. There we go. See how the ship changed? It's the shield that does that. It comes from the Coliseum episode. Disable visuals. Back to normal. Enable visuals. And we've got the glow. I'm going to keep that on for a bit. That glow. There's another shield that does this as well. I think it's a Remen shield from the Romulan Reputation. So it's very similar to this shield, except it isn't a prototype, I don't think. But this character doesn't have access to the Reputation yet. But for now, I'm just going to save as is. Save the loadout as is. 15 seconds for each one. If you don't actually want to use this shield, but you do want the visuals from this shield, you just go in here and put the shield here instead. Then you'll have the visuals. Well, using use a better shield, switch off it, and use this one as visuals. So you get the effect without the weakness of the shield. Get a stronger shield here and a visual here. Anyway, we'll leave it at that for now, and I'll end out this video. So this is part 23 of my Agents of Yesterday character leveling, where we just played Coliseum. In the next video I'll be playing Cutting the Cord, and that will be part 24. But for now, please like, subscribe, share, comment, whatever you want. I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching. Bye.